Can you hear now? You are able to hear my voice now? Yes. Okay. Good evening all. Voice is not audible. Okay. They are able to hear the voice. Fine. So, my name is Amrita. I am from Excel College over here, giving you a lecture on a topic neural control and coordinations. So, about neurons you studied first time when they taught you about the cells. In 8th standard you studied about different types of cells, like different shapes of cells, where you studied round shaped cells, and even the neurons when we studied, they introduced about a cell which had a elongated body and it had a central cell and with many dendrites. This is what an elongated cell you studied in the lower class, right? Then in 10th standard when you came, they introduced you about the brain, central nervous system and all. You studied in the 10th standard. Oh, no sound. I think you are able to hear the noise. Just check your internet connection once. We cannot hear you. We cannot. It is audible. Okay, fine. So in 10th standard they introduced you about how the shape of the nerve cell is and how the brain works, what are the different parts. So the same thing you are having in 11th standard, but we are studying a bit depth about it. Okay. Yes. So now previously we studied like in the lower classes about the neuron, that is, it is the longest cell that is present in our body, and it has a cell body, it has an axon, dendrites and axon terminal parts in it. Other cells whatever we studied in the lower classes, it would have been having the shape like round shape, or if you take the RBC biconcave shape. So we have studied different types, but only the neuron was something different. Okay. So in today's class we will be studying about neurons, how is it shaped, what are the different types in it. So consider a situation where you see a snake. Okay, you will see a snake, and at that moment what you will do? Oh, okay, we can't hear you. Just check your internet once. Okay, can you hear me now? Audio clearly. Okay, fine. So imagine a situation, you are seeing a snake. Next what you will do? Will you stand in the same place? No, right? You will start to run. So now when you are running, you saw a snake, and now for that reason you will start to run like anything. Now when you are running, what will happen? Your blood pressure will increase, right? Yes, you will give the some sudden reaction. For that sudden reaction, what you will do? You will start to run. Yes. Pranav, yeah, yes, we will run. Ma'am, can you start from first? Okay, listen. So today's topic is about neural control and coordination. Okay. Yes, heartbeat increases. So I was explaining a situation where you will see a snake. Okay. If you see a snake, will you keep standing there only? Obviously not. What you will do? You will start to run from there. When you are running, what will happen? Please check your internet connections, dear. Because few students are able to hear. Okay. So now what will happen? When you start to run, you will not stay in the same place. You will start to run. So what will happen? Your blood pressure will start to increase. Okay, blood pressure is increasing. Will you breathe in a normal way how you were breathing before? Yes. Monisha is saying adrenaline gland starts secreting. Very good. Fine. Yes. So next what will happen? Blood pressure will start to increase. Then your respiration rate will also increase, right? You will start to increase your respiration also. Yeah, breathing will increase. Then what else will happen? Will you keep your mouth closed, or you will start to breathe using your mouth also? Yes, breathing rate increases. We have full network. Okay. So respiration will also increase, as well as we'll start using our mouth. So it leads to, using our mouth also will do the respiration. That we call it as that leads to bronchodilation. Is it a normal situation or an emergency situation? Obviously it's an emergency situation. You cannot stand in that same place. Okay. So next what happens? It's an emergency situation. You need to run away from there. It's an emergency situation. Yes, very good. Sujata, emergency situation. Yes, it's an emergency situation. Whenever you are in any emergency situation, your adrenal gland. I hope you have studied about endocrine glands in your lower classes, right? 8th standard you had at least the names of adrenal gland and all, thyroid gland. Okay, so one of the gland is here, adrenal gland. Where is adrenal gland found? Can anyone say where adrenal gland found? Yes, it secretes adrenaline hormone, correct? Yes, it is found in the kidney or above the kidney? Yes, Abhay, he said correct. Yes, near kidney, but where it is? Upper part of kidney. Yes, correct. It's found in the upper part of the kidney. A popcorn like structure that you see when you draw the diagram of kidney, some popcorn like you will draw, no? That is the adrenal gland. Okay, it will start releasing the hormone adrenaline. Okay, yes, good. Cap over kidney. It's not a cap. Yeah, you can term it like that also. Like a cap it is like, right? Okay. Fine. Yeah, a small structure that is found above it is called as adrenal gland, which secretes the hormone adrenaline. It secretes the hormone adrenaline. Now, see what I said, snake is there, you started to run. So what happened then? Your blood pressure increased. Okay, respiration increased. So your lungs need to expand and relax faster. Am I audible to you all? Yes? Okay, fine. So respiration rate will increase. So that means your lungs need to work fast. Inspiration, expiration. Yes, inspiration and expiration should increase. So lungs is working there. Bronchodilation. Okay, that's also related with the Lungs, blood pressure is increasing, your heartbeat should also increase. Can you see different organs are functioning, right? Heart rate is increasing, right? Lungs is functioning, your adrenal gland is functioning, right? So you can see the coordinated events that are taking place between different organs, lungs, heart, your adrenal gland, and among all those things, the brain should give the signal to you that bhai, that's a snake, you should run away from there. Yes or no? Bronchodilation. Okay. Vijay Lakshmi. Okay, what is bronchodilation? Bronchodilation means like when you start to, in a normal situation you will inspire and expire, but when you are in a emergency situations, you'll start to breathe using your mouth, right? You can't breathe using normal respiration, you won't do. You will start opening your mouth and you will run, right? That time it leads to the bronchioles, what is found in the lungs, it will start to dilate than the normal. For a longer run, you will lose your energy, but that is what happens, that's how the body functions. Okay, so you saw all these organs are functioning in a coordinated manner, and for you to run, the signal should go to the brain that this is a snake, you should run from there. Is released in response to stress, fear of excitement. Yes, Manisha, you're correct. So this is a fearful situation. So what happens? All the organs in the body is working together and it's bringing some coordination, right? So all the organs in the body should work in a coordinated manner so that all the functions in our body should work. And at the same time, neural system, when you see the snake, you got the signal that you should run away from there. How you got that signal? With the help of the neurons. So this is how neural control and coordination, that's how the different organs in our body will start to work in a coordinated manner. So to bring this coordination among the organs, what is required? Yes, Vijay Lakshmi, yes, neuron. Yes, neuron is required. So how this information is gone? In the form of impulses. Yes, Manisha, it passes in the form of impulses. Okay. It's simple, it's related to feelings, emotions. Yes. Okay. Fine. So we got to know the topic name, neural control and coordination. So there, to bring the coordination among different organs in our body, the neuron should help. So now we have studied in the previous classes about central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, right? 10th ಓದಿದ್ವಾ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? Have you heard about the word central nervous system? Yes. Peripheral nervous system? Yes, very good. Okay. So now, the neural system is divided mainly into two parts, right? Into CNS and PNS. Okay. CNS stands for Central Nervous System. And then your PNS stands for? PNS full form ಏನು? Peripheral Nervous System. Right? Okay. Yes, very good. Who is that? Yashas. Yeah. PNS stands for Peripheral Nervous System. Christino, he said that in PNS all body parts. No. See, this is easy to remember. First, let us consider a human. Ma'am, human will be not like this. I said consider it as a human. Okay. See the word central nervous system. Okay. In the word itself you have So when you say in central nervous system, something that is associated with the neural system, which is in the central part, right? Yes. So in central nervous system we have brain and spinal cord, right? We have brain and spinal cord. Okay. So now, where is the brain and spinal cord? Brain will be here, right? Spinal cord in this location. So the central nervous system is in the central part of the body. Yeah. Now when it comes to peripheral nervous system, let's split the word peripheral nervous system. Peripheral means something at the sides, right? Cranial and spinal nerves. Yes, we'll study later about it. Okay. So now when it comes to peripheral nervous system, anything other than that, the neurons that are passing in this directions, that is towards the lateral way. Lateral side of the body. Anything that is from on the hands, legs, the other parts which passes in the lateral parts. They are called as the peripheral nervous system. Got it? Yes, coming to your Then we have two types of nerves they are speaking about. Yes, cranial nerves. Yes, if we take the human, okay, cranial part, whatever the neurons are passing over here, that's called as cranial nerves. Okay, cranial nerves. That's it. That is present in the central nervous system itself. And whatever the rest that are passing are the peripheral nerves in the body. Nerves passing from the brain, yeah. That's called as cranial nerves. Fine. Now, in the case of central nervous system, we got to know brain and spinal cord is present. And whereas in peripheral nervous system, which passes lateral side of the body, right? So there, what are the things that are present? Here, this is further divided into two types. Somatic nervous system. I am writing nervous system as NS. NS means nervous system. Okay, I am writing here the short form. Yes, I will come to afferent and efferent fibers next week. Okay, we have somatic nervous system and autonomous nervous system. Yes, very good, Pragati. Autonomic and somatic nervous system. And again, this autonomous nervous system is further divided into two parts. Can't hear clearly. Okay. Autonomous nervous system is divided into again two parts. Can you guess? Anyone? Okay, it is divided into sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Yes, very good. Yes, so these are the two types that we find in autonomous nervous system. Just knowing what are the terms about, like central nervous system ali, we have brain and spinal cord, and then in peripheral nervous system, somatic nervous system, as well as autonomous nervous system. Again, this autonomous nervous system is divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic. Now, one by one, let us study what is its role, how is it functioning. Explain once more. Okay, beta. Ranganath Kesi. Okay, I am explaining again. The neural system in humans is divided into mainly into two parts. One is central nervous system and the other one is peripheral nervous system. Okay. In central nervous system we have brain and spinal cord. The nervous system which passes like in the central portion. Okay. Whatever is, that's brain and your spinal cord. Isn't it in central location? That's how you can remember. Next, peripheral nervous system. In peripheral nervous system, the neurons or the nerves that are passing peripherally in the body. Okay. Those comes under peripheral nervous system. Somatic nervous system and autonomous nervous system. In autonomous nervous system we have sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic. These are the types. So now one by one we will study what is it. Okay. Fine. Previously we got to know somatic and autonomous nervous system. We have a brain, okay, as well as we have the brain, okay, and then we have the spinal cord. I am not drawing the exact diagram here, I am teaching you its connection with the different body parts, okay. Brain is there, spinal cord in the central region, right. So this forms our central nervous system. Then we have peripheral nervous system. Let us take the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles in our body and the smooth muscles in our body. Okay, we have our brain and spinal cord, and this side I am drawing the peripheral nervous system. Okay, in that we have taken skeletal muscle and smooth muscles. What are skeletal muscles? The muscles which are attached to the skeletal system in our body, right. Skeletal muscles, easy, the muscles that are attached to the skeletal muscles in our body. So, is skeletal, have you heard about the word voluntary and involuntary? Voluntary, involuntary functions. Is our skeletal muscles are voluntary or involuntary in function? Yes, yes. Skeletal muscles, is it voluntary or involuntary? Yes, skeletal muscle is in our control. If we hit someone, later you cannot say it was, I didn't know what I did, right. It is in our control. It is voluntary. It's not involuntary. Whatever actions that we do, if I raise my hand, if I am writing something, with my senses I am doing it, right. So that is voluntary. If you do it, if you hit someone and if you say that it is involuntary, then your teacher will hit you with her voluntary actions, right. So skeletal muscles are the muscles that are attached to the skeletal system, which is voluntary. Yes. So skeletal muscles are voluntary. Next, smooth muscles. Okay, have you heard about the term visceral organs? Visceral organs, soft organs in our body are called as visceral organs. No? Okay, the organs like our lungs, kidney, bladders, the gastrointestinal tract, intestine, okay, most of the organs which are smooth, okay. Even heart can be included in that. Heart, lungs, kidney, these are all the smooth organs in our body. Those are called as visceral organs. These are most made up of smooth muscles except the heart. Okay, except the heart, others are made up of smooth muscle. Yeah, liver also, pancreas. Yes, the answer was correct. Even the liver can be also included in the visceral organs. Except the heart can also be called visceral organ, but it is made up of cardiac muscles. It's not made up of smooth muscles. Okay. So now the beating of the heart or the functioning of the kidney, can you control it? Can you control the function of your heart? No, we cannot. Yeah, we cannot control the function of it. Once when you swallow the food, Okay, you can bite the food, later you will swallow. After that the food should go through the peristaltic movement, right? You are not pushing the food inside. Yeah. So it is involuntary, it's not in our control. So the smooth muscles are present in those visceral organs. So the smooth muscles are functioning in those involuntary organs regions. So here in smooth muscle, this is an involuntary function it is. Okay. Yes. Now previously in the comment section someone said about afferent and efferent. Okay. Now I will be explaining how your central nervous system and peripheral nervous systems are connected. Okay. Hege information will go from the peripheral nervous to the central nervous system, and how the central nervous system will bring back the information to the required organs of our body. Understood? Okay. So now I am drawing the connection over here. They said about afferent and efferent. Afferent and efferent. Okay. So now there are two types of nerve fibers, afferent and efferent. So what it will do? So now when I touch my hand, I know that I touched my hand. It is giving me some senses, right? The signal from here where I touched, it went to my brain. So the signal, whatever, if I touch a hot object, I will be not holding that hot object for a longer time. I do take my hand from there, right? Yes, sensory nerves, motor nerves, yes, the same, the other name terms for that. Yeah, impulse will be transferred. Okay. So now when I touch a hot object, immediately I will remove my hand. I will not keep holding that object for a longer time. So what happened? When I touch this hot object, the sensory neurons sense the signal and it gave that signal to the brain. So the neurons that are involved in giving that signal are afferent. Yes, reflex action. Yes, we call it as reflex action. We might have studied in 10th. Reflex R concept was there. Yeah, very good. Yes. Electric signal will study later about it. Okay, two types, chemical, electric signal, later I will teach about it. Yes, that is what reflex arc. Immediately we will take the hands out from there. So now what happened? I touched the object, I removed my hand from there, right? So the signal went through the afferent neurons, where it went to the brain. And whatever the reaction should be done, I should remove my hand from there, right? Immediately I will remove my hand from there. That is done by the efferent fibers. Okay, efferent nerve fibers. Yes, reflex arc, you had it in 10th, very good. Yes, it goes to the spinal cord and then to the, yes, brain it will go. Correct, it will come to the, consider completely it is coming to the central nervous system, that is to the spinal cord it comes and then it goes to the brain. Okay, all the message will come to the spinal cord and it will pass to the brain. Okay, it sends first to the through spinal cord and then it reaches the brain. And all this happens in fraction of seconds. Next, so we got to know afferent nerve fibers are the one that is bringing the signal and efferent nerve fibers are taking the signal, what action should be done. Okay, yes, from efferent it will go to the brain, from afferent it will go to the brain, and from efferent again the signal will come to give the response. Yes, Shreya, you are correct. Yeah. Next, we have involuntary. In involuntary or the smooth muscles, the same way. Afferent will take the information and efferent will bring back the whatever the action that need to be taken. Now, previously we studied that peripheral nervous system is having two types, somatic nervous system and autonomous nervous system, right? So we'll write that here, somatic nervous system and autonomous nervous system. Okay, first we studied somatic nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is divided into two types, somatic nervous system and the autonomous nervous system. So how we can remember? See here, skeletal muscles which are having voluntary functions. Okay, the skeletal muscles or any voluntary functions of our body, how the muscles change their shape. This will be studying further. Okay, we in locomotion and movement chapter is there. When you guys come to the college, we will teach you how the muscles change their shape, in the sense like how those actions are done, how the muscles will get contracted, how the muscles will get relaxed. This is one we'll be studying in a different chapter, locomotion and movement. Okay, so here what we were studying, so whatever the skeletal muscles, the control of the skeletal muscles, the control of the voluntary actions in our body is done by the somatic nervous system. Easy to remember, right? Skeletal muscles or the voluntary actions of our body is controlled by the somatic nervous system. Okay. Next, involuntary or the smooth muscles, the functioning of the kidney, pancreas, liver, lungs, the digestive system or the GIT, everything. Okay. So that is controlled by the autonomous nervous system. So in NEET exams, they will ask you a question. They might not ask you directly like this, skeletal muscles. They can ask you about the, imagine a situation, you will take your hand from there, or when you touch a hot object, which system will, which part of the peripheral nervous system will act? What will you write for that? Somatic or autonomous nervous system? When you touch an hot object, you remove your hand from there. So in this time, in this situation, which part of the peripheral nervous system will come into action? Yes, correct answer is somatic nervous system. Very good. Yes, Prabha. Yes, correct answers. Okay. Let us consider another situation. Let us take with the example of, let us take the functioning of the kidney. The functioning of the kidney is controlled by SNS or your autonomous nervous system? Yes, autonomous nervous system. Now just by this picture, you got to know if it is anything related to skeletal muscle, then it is SNS. Yes, very good. If it is anything related with the smooth muscles or any involuntary function, let them give whatever the situation. If you get to know the skeletal muscle or it is associated with the smooth muscle or involuntary, okay, then we'll write there as a autonomous nervous system. Yes. Okay. Shall we move to the next topic where we studied in peripheral nervous system? Again there are two types. Okay. Which was the next topic that I explained you? After somatic and autonomous nervous system. In autonomous nervous system there are two types. Which are they? Sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Very good. Okay. Sympathetic and parasympathetic. Parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. Now, let us study now what will happen. We have the brain. Okay, I am drawing it like a cloud. It's not a cloud, it's a brain. Okay. Now, you are on a, consider you are in the beginning of the year. Okay. Beginning of the year it is, your syllabus is going accordingly. You are preparing for your 12th exams. Okay. Starting of the year you will be very cool. Right? Faster rate of breathing and slow down breathing rate. No, wait. Okay. So consider a situation where you are very cool, okay, you are preparing for your final 12th NEET exam, starting of the year, right, you are very cool, your respiration rate will be normal, your heart rate also will be normal. Okay, this is during a normal situation where you are calmly preparing for your final exam. Now consider a situation you have not prepared for your exam, the last moment, okay, may your exam will be for your NEET preparation, NEET exam, you are in the month of April or something, okay. If you have joined Excel, then your parasympathetic nervous system will be working. You will be very calm because already you will be writing many test and all, week test and all you will be writing. Okay. So this is the normal situation. Your parasympathetic nervous system will be working. Okay. Because you have already done your preparation in the beginning of the year, everything you have prepared. In a normal situation, what happens? Respiration rate is normal, heart rate is normal. Consider a student who haven't prepared for the exam, last moment, what will happen to him? Who has not done the NEET preparation, okay, who has not done the preparation, his heart rate will increase or heartbeat will increase, okay, he is very scared, respiration rate also will increase. What do you feel at that moment for him? Pathetic situation, no? Yes, tension, panic, yeah, high BP, okay. You feel sympathy for him, right, at that moment? Right, yes, frustration, panic, you feel sympathy for that guy. Everything get raised, yes, yes. So, you need, yes, high blood pressure, everything happens, right? At that time, what do we feel for him? We feel some sympathy for that person, right? So, this is when your sympathetic okay, full bhaya ma'am, yes, in that full bhaya time he should get some sympathy, no, that is when the sympathetic nervous system will work, okay. Yes, in full fear. So now you got to know, in a normal situation, your parasympathetic nervous system work when you are in a full gabrified situation, full bhaya situation, right? In that situation, your sympathetic nervous system will work. Understood? So we got to know where our somatic nervous system will work, autonomous nervous system will work, where the parasympathetic, in a calm position when he has fully prepared for the NEET, okay, fully prepared for the NEET exam, his parasympathetic, entire year he will be having the parasympathetic system working, okay, because he has gone through many written tests, everything, okay. But when it comes to the person who have not done any preparation, board is done, or at last moment can you study for NEET, not at all possible, okay. In those situations, our heart rate, respiration rate, anything, like it's nothing but the, in panic situations, your sympathetic nervous system will work. Understood? So any example when they give you, based upon the real life situations, you can easily identify, okay. Sometimes when it comes to the NEET preparation, rather than by hearting the definition, if you understand the topic when these systems will work, okay, then you can easily solve the questions. because you'll be not knowing exact statement they cannot give. They can give you situation based questions also, right? Okay. So in today's class, let's summarize once what all we studied. Okay. So first we got to know about we studied about a person who saw the snake, he was scared, then how the different organs in the body started to work together and they worked in a coordinated manner, and to bring that coordination among them, the neural system, the neurons, the brain helped them. Yes, snake. Okay. Next, after that we studied about the two types, central and peripheral nervous system, where we have brain and spinal cord in the central part, and whatever the neurons that are passing through the peripheral region, okay, that comes under peripheral nervous system. In that there are two types, somatic and autonomous nervous system, and in autonomous two types, and followed by that how somatic nervous system and autonomous nervous system is functioning, which controls which part of the body, whether it's controlling the voluntary actions or involuntary actions, okay, these things. Next is with sympathetic nervous system, how it is acting, parasympathetic nervous system, when it is acting, all these things you got to know, right? Do we have time? Okay. So next we will see from basics what we have studied, the shape of the structure of the nerve cell, okay. It has a cell body with its nucleus with various dendrites to it. It has a cell body and it has some dendrites, okay. So whatever you know, let me know, whatever we have studied in the lower classes about it, okay. It has a cell body, it has a axon terminal, okay, axon, Nissels granules, okay. So let's start labeling. This is the main cell body and it has its nucleus, and then it has its myelin sheath, yes, and it has its axon terminal, yes, it has axon terminal, node of Ranvier, yes, we'll study one by one, okay. It is a cell, right? So it is supposed to have a nucleus, so it is having its nucleus over here. Does it have endoplasmic reticulum? Ma'am, what is the function of axon? Yes, I'll teach you further about it. Does it have endoplasmic reticulum? No? Yes? A cell will be having a, yeah, okay. So now we studied that there are some Nissels granules, right? Nissels granules. Okay, let us study here. It has some structures called as Nissels granules. Okay, we are studying about a cell. Neuron is the longest cell in the body, okay. So now even this will be having the endoplasmic, where is nerve ending, okay. Nerve ending is nothing but the axon terminal part. Okay, here we have the axon terminal, this is the nerve ending. Okay, we have Nissel's granules. What is this Nissel's granules made up of? This Nissel's granules is made up of endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, especially rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, as well as it will be having some free ribosomes. Okay, what is Nissel's granules composed of? Rough endoplasmic reticulum as well as some free ribosomes are also present in it. Okay, in general we say that as Nissel's granules. Okay, now Nissel's granules are present on the cell body. Okay, it is present on these projections which are called as dendrites. On dendrites also you can see the Nissel's granules. Okay, but here in the axon do we find the Nissel's granules? No, in the axon region over here we do not find any Nissel's granules. Okay, I explained one neat question over here. They'll ask you whether Nissel's granules are found in the axon region or not. So, Nissel's granules are not present in the axon. It is found only in the cell body as well as on the dendrites. Yes, Prabha is saying it doesn't have centriole. Yeah, the neuron cell is not having centriole. Why? What's the fact about it? Anyone know? When the baby is born, whatever the neurons will be present in the body of a person will be there till its death, his or her death. Okay, no new neurons are produced. Neurons, this nerve cell will never divide at all. Okay, if it divides then it's a cancer condition. Okay, normally a nerve cell or a neuron will never divide. If it is dividing then only it requires no, it can't be replaced. Okay, so whatever once it is present, same thing will be there. It has, yeah, it's not having any ability to divide. If it is supposed to get divided then it requires the centrioles. So when it is not dividing then there is no need of the centrioles in it. Okay, coming back to our topic. Okay, we studied about Nissel's granules. There it has the endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomes. What is ribosomes involved in? Ribosomes, what is its function? It is involved in protein synthesis. Okay, whatever the proteins that are there, it is produced in this Nissel's granules. Okay, then we have this axon region and then we have axon terminal. Okay, and then we have this synaptic knob. We have the synaptic knob region. Many of you were saying about node of Ranvier, right, and neurolemma, right? Neurotransmitters, yes, neurotransmitters are present. Where rough endoplasmic reticulum, why rough endoplasmic reticulum are present? It needs to produce the proteins. Okay, the neurotransmitters, the chemical molecules which will be released here, which will be studying in the further classes. Okay, so those proteins, and to maintain the polarity, for that we require those proteins. It's not node, it's node of Ranvier, Schwann cells. Okay, now let's study a bit about the other parts. Have you heard about this? Yeah, Schwann cells. Yes, this is a Schwann cells. Okay, sometimes what happens, this is a picture of a Schwann cell. Sometimes what happens, the Schwann cells will get squeezed. Okay, Schwann cells will get squeezed. So what will happen? The Schwann cells will get elongated. Okay, Schwann cells will get elongated. So now what happens? Schwann cell main shape will first, it will be like this. Some of the Schwann cell will get elongated. Once it's get elongated, its plasma membrane, if it is a cell, obviously it should have a plasma membrane, right? Yes, I'll come to the topic of myelin sheath, wait. Okay, so now what happens in the Schwann cell? Here we are having its plasma membrane. Plasma membrane will start secreting a compound called as, a material called as myelin. Okay, what happened? Schwann cell was there and the Schwann cell got elongated. Okay, in the elongated part, the plasma membrane will start secreting the myelin content. Okay, now what will happen? Myelin will be filled all through this region. Okay, no Baba, cell wall will be not present. It's an animal cell. Animal cell will not have the cell wall. It has cell membrane. Okay, so cell membrane will be there. Cell membrane will secrete the, or the plasma membrane will be secreting the myelin. Okay, now what happens? This Schwann cell, do you remember you guys used to use some scales which you used to tap like this on the hand and it used to get rolled? Remember you used to play with that and the teachers used to take that? Yes, right? Huh. Consider like that is a Schwann cell. What will happen when you tap that scale? It will roll on your hand, right? Yes, yeah, teachers used to take that. Okay, consider like the same way the Schwann cell is present and it is elongated. Okay, it has been elongated and its plasma membrane is releasing the myelin. Now the same Schwann cell, what will happen? It will get rolled over here in this region. Okay, its cell site region and Schwann cells are present. Okay, what happened? We have hit the axon now, right? So what happens? The axon region is there. There the Schwann cells elongated. You can take the example of a watch also. Okay, so what happens? The watch, the strap what is present, how it is rolling the hand. In the same way, this elongated region will cover the axon. Okay, now what happened? It had secreted myelin. I have drawn it in black color, but understand myelin is transparent. Okay, what's the color of myelin? Transparent. Okay, and the color of this neuron will be like grey or brownish. Okay, that's the color of the full axon length. Upon that, the myelin, okay, or the Schwann cell which has secreted the myelin is covering. You are able to understand? Okay, so now this myelin is the Schwann cell which has secreted the myelin compound. Okay, it is covering the axon. Okay, so now when it covers, consider when the, imagine a plastic covers, transparent plastic covers kept one above the other, what will happen? It will look a bit milkish white, right? Transparent, many transparent covers piled together, what will happen? How it will look? It will look as bit whitish, no? If you keep hundreds or 200 bundles of plastic covers, it will look a bit whitish, right? Milky white, yes. So imagine many cells are lying, many Schwann cells which are myelinated, it's lying one above the other. So now what happens? This region completely it looks whitish. Okay. Next this part. Okay, consider a Schwann cell like this. Its face part like I have drawn. It's not having eyes and all. I am just drawing over here. Okay, now what will happen? This part, what is present? Okay. So what will happen? This will lie above this. Okay, the face part. On mental reason I started to learn neuropath also, brain structure. Ma'am, they are the golden. No. Yeah, golden toys. Yeah, they are the golden memories for us. Yeah, with that golden memory, we will study one of the beautiful concept for NEET. Okay. So now we have this, the elongated region of the cell which is turning, and it is lying all over the axon, which is now making the axon part look like milkish white color. And the head part which was there, that will lie above that. Okay. So imagine the head part is covering like this entirely, Schwann cells. Its tail region has covered, and the head region, what is I have drawn here, the cytoplasmic region. Here it is filled with cytoplasma. This side is filled with the myelin secretion. Okay. So now whatever is present over here, you can see here some gaps, right? What are those? What will happen? What do we call these gaps as? Node of Ranvier. Okay, node of Ranvier, not the Ranveer Kapoor, it is Ranvier. Okay, node of, not Ranvier, it's Ranvier. Okay. Yes, node of Ranvier. So what happened? Wherever the Schwann cells got laid over the axon like this, the gap that was created is called as node of Ranvier. It's not an emoji, I just wanted you to understand that this is the cytoplasmic part and this part will be lying about it. Okay. Next, after node of Ranvier, you guys were saying about neurolemma. Okay. Now tell me, neurolemma, there is another word called as axolemma. Neurolemma and axolemma. Okay. Lemma means you will get to know we are speaking something about the plasma membrane, right? So now here the plasma membrane of the axon, plasma membrane of the axon is called as axolemma. Okay. And the plasma membrane of the Schwann cell, now it is lying above, no? The plasma membrane of the Schwann cell is called as neurolemma. Okay. Neurolemma and axolemma are different, they are not the same structure. Why the emoji has no hair drawn in the board? Because I have drawn the shape of the cell I wanted to explain. Okay. Now we have neurolemma and axolemma. Neurolemma represents the plasma membrane of the Schwann cell, which means the plasma membrane over here on the Schwann cell, and this gap in the this here axon region, what is present, its plasma membrane is called as axolemma. Understood the difference between axolemma and neurolemma? They are not the same, they are plasma membrane of two different types of cells. And in your lower classes they might have said you guys about this myelinated and non-myelinated. Now can you guess what they were speaking about? Whenever the Schwann cells secreted the myelin sheath and myelinated Schwann cells are covering like this, then we call it as myelinated neurons or myelinated nerve fiber. It secretes myelin, yeah. The piling up of all these Schwann cells which has secreted the myelin, then we call it as myelin sheath, and such neuron is called as myelinated nerve fiber or myelinated neuron. Okay. Next, if in case if this Schwann cell has not secreted the myelin, then we call it as non-myelinated neurons. Okay. Then those structures we call it as non-myelinated neurons. Understood? Yeah, non-myelinated sheath also, SHEATH, sheath, it can also be called. Okay. Yes, the same chapters will be repeated in the offline classes also when you come to the college in the month of May. When when it will stop working, ma'am? So it's not that all the neurons will stop working. As you age, the neurons will stop its function a bit, in the sense it will, not all the neurons will be working. That is when your the problems of when you become aged, people will start to forget, Alzheimer's, these diseases will start to affect. Okay, so but even if you think like that, ma'am, I can sit and study for 1 hour, but I can't sit more than that. You should train your brain, you should make your neurons to. When college will start? College will start in the May month. You are supposed to come to a college now and collect your uniform materials. Okay. You need to come to the college to collect the uniform materials, and the college will start in the month of May. Need preparation and all, you should start right from the beginning itself. Never make it late. And here also every weekends there will be competitive exams, like giving multiple questions. Your you don't have to give work to your sympathetic nervous system what you studied today. Okay, giving multiple tests and all will make you feel good, like you will come out from the exam anxiety and all. And here we give the NEET preparation as well as for your CET. If you want to get a J done here, if you want to get into the agricultural streams or any top colleges of India like ISERs and all, for all this the coachings are done in our college. You can inform your friends also to join over here. Only limited seats are available. Ma'am, which date should we come here? Come to the college to collect the uniforms. At that time we will inform you the date also, when the exact date when the college will start. Yeah, only parasympathetic, if you want only a parasympathetic nervous system to work, so join, excel, remain stress free and do your NEET preparation well and get into the top colleges in your future, right? Okay. Yes, thank you students.